Alright, so I'm out here and I figured I would show you guys how to properly, well, semi-properly, make a decent spear. So as you can tell, first off, you want to find a decently straight piece of wood. This isn't all too straight, it has a very large curve right there, but it goes up a decent way, so I think I can make work. So I'm going to chop this thing down and get to work. Alright, so there we go. I'm just going to take this sucker and launch him over there. Good enough. And we're going to take this, carry it over, and I'm going to show you how to process it. Process it properly and get it going. All right, so looking at how this is, I think I'm going to take it off right here. So I'm going to set it up here. I don't know if I can do this all with one hand. And we're just going to chop right there around where that node is. So. All right, it's falling. I'm just going to cut back because I don't know if I can do this with one hand. All right, so easy enough. Took this off. And now comes the real part where, first of all, what side do we want to use? Do we want to use this fat side, or do we want to cut this off and just use this? So let's see. If I take this and measure it up to my body, this stick is probably around 6 foot tall. Probably about a 6 foot stick right here. So I think I'm going to take it off, take about a foot off, make it a 5 foot stick, and just have it more as a short and walking spear. Okay, so we're just going to take this, set it down, step on it, and okay. So now we got the log. We're just going to toss it over there into the log pile to dry. And we're going to take these limbs, walk them over here, and toss them into the limb pile, which is mostly dry stuff, but you never know. And now we're left with about, this stick comes right up to about where my breast is. Alright, so I forgot to show this when I was showing on how long it is, but you can see it's fairly straight. There is this big curve right here, but honestly, that's not going to affect the throw too much. Really, we want a long, straight shaft, and that's pretty much what we have. So I'm going to start shaving down some of this bark. And pretty much how you want to do that is I'm going to take my hatchet, press this up against my body, and just kind of do that right there. Oh, yep, as you can see, I just hit myself with a fat strip of bark. And when you're doing that, you're also going to clear out some of these bumps. And this will also make it a lot smoother, but in some areas, you're going to go down and whittle it a little farther. So I'm going to take a second, get this all down, hopefully not tear up my entire thumb, and yeah, show you how it looks. Alright, so as you can see, I've whittled it down quite a bit, and you can see where a lot of these lumps where trees would have started, or limbs would try to start, are gone. And it's smoothed down for the most part. There's still a couple flaky parts, but in the end, we're going to turn this part into a good handle so you can walk around. We're going to find your center mass, which is honestly pretty easy. Just take, don't drop the stick, but you want to take it, I don't know if I can, big angle, take it and balance it on your hand to a point where it's not going to fall, like right there. That's my center, so I'm going to grab that real tight and mark that, okay? And then if this is going to be our handle, that means this end right here is going to be our spearhead. And as you can see, it's quite flat, but we're going to fix that. So we're going to notch it about right there and start whittling up. And I'm also going to show you what type of tip you don't want to put on and what type of tip you do want to put on a spear like this. So I'm not going to be able to do this with one hand safely, but essentially you're going to take your hatchet, go down it, and just kind of knock off all that bark. You're going to rotate it, just get it going, and we will smooth it out. This is really hard to turn, but this is pretty much what you're doing. Sitting here, whittling her down. Alright, I'm going to get this nice and whittled to the point where I can start sharpening it and shaving it, and I'll get back to you. Wowzers and wowzers, would you look at that? It's already, shaping up, looking pretty nice. So now, what you're going to do is I'm going to lay this down so you can see it. I'm going to take out my trusty dusty pocket knife. Honestly, straight blades work a lot better. Oh yeah, when you're doing this, what you're going to do is you're going to wedge it. Well, in my case, you wouldn't wedge it, you're gonna hold it, but I gotta wedge it, and I'm gonna hold the blade of my knife like that. Not to the point where it's somewhat digging into my skin. That's not honestly good because you're having to use a folding blade, but in some cases, it's all you got. You're gonna kind of sit here and round this out. Get rid of some of these little flaky parts right here. Just gonna get rid of those and give it a more refined, round shape rather than that jagged shape that you just gave it with your hatchet. Stick that in my little hole, and I'm going to get that nice and shaved, and then I'll start sharpening and show you what tip you want and what tip you don't want. Alright, so we're all done, and it was good before I threw it, but I'll throw it again because it's not too terribly damaged. But what I'm going to show you is why you don't want a really sharp tip. So I'm going to, boom, straight into the ground. As you can see, little indent. Let's look at the tip on this sucker. Wowzers. what tip? You don't have a tip anymore. That really nice razor sharp tip that you just put on there is gone. All right? Because whenever you narrow it down to a certain point, it will no longer hold a decent edge. And a good way to fix that is to come back over here, lay your wood back on your little block. Soon enough, I'll take down that big sucker and have an amazing time. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take this back off, the new tip that you just put. That's why I gave myself a lot of leeway. I'm gonna take this off. Oh yeah. Like I don't know if I could do it with one hand. We're gonna see though. We're gonna, oh, that hurt my knee. We're gonna take this old tip off. Okay, you know what? It'll work for what I'm doing. I'm gonna whittle it down and then I'm gonna show you, see? It's just ruined. I did hit it, but it's just ruined. Now I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna cut this off and show you what to do when it comes down to making a tip and the rest of the things that you wanna do on a spear. All right, so as you can see, the tip is really fat right now. That's because we want to keep it somewhat fat while also giving it a good diagonal sway so it can still puncture objects. And the way we're going to do that is we're just going to take large chunks off of it with our hatchet where it's about, I'm just going to take this. It's going to be, no, I think this is better. Right here, yeah. This is about how your tip's gonna look. It's gonna be a little fatter than this, but it's gonna be around that type, and that's gonna help it not shatter whenever you hit wood. And it's also gonna help with the longevity of the spear. All right, so this is pretty good. I didn't hit this side a lot, but I did shave off a good bit. Now, essentially what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bow this down. I'm gonna bow that down and keep this tip kind of how it is, because you know what? This is sharp enough to puncture whatever you're gonna need to puncture. So I'm gonna whittle that down and I'm gonna smooth it out, and then I'm gonna show you what to do handle wise and where you're gonna grab the spear and throw it wise. All right, so we already got our tip nice and done, and now we're gonna find it. So this was about my center mass right there. All right, so we're gonna take it, and by the width of your hand, you're gonna double it. So I'm gonna go about right here to right here, and I'm just gonna shave probably about right there. I'm gonna shave all of that bark off with the back of my knife and the blade of it. Pretty much, let's see, to keep my marking somewhat. I'm just gonna take it, essentially, lay it up against me, and just do that. And as you can see, that's shaving off a lot of that hard bark. It's gonna leave us with some good soft wood on the inside. So I'm gonna go from there to about there. So there are my notch marks. Okay, and I'm gonna shave this all off and show you what it looks like. Well, I'm sure you're probably gonna see that I didn't get it exactly where my marks were, and inevitably, I was a little off on my balancing. Yep, that's right, she leans, and it's a little, longer shaft than holding stick, but you know what? I'll live. Now what I'm gonna do is take it and I'm gonna shave all of that off, okay? All of this right here, so I can have a handle that my hand is not getting torn up by all these little bumps, scratches. But the reason you want to do this is because see how nice and smooth this is? There's just the little bumps, but those are all rounded out, and this is that soft, nice wood that you're going to want to be able to grab onto. Alright, so I moved over to somewhere where some cactuses are. As you can see, I burrowed out that. It's real nice. I can sit here and grip it and use it, but I also got this for throwing, and we're going to test it out on some cactus. So remember, with that different tip, I'm just going to, as you can see, it still works extremely well. I could take it, oh yeah, my ninja skills. Oh, I was going to throw it, but that didn't work. And now we're just going to take it, hold it, and we're going to launch it at the cactus. Actually, I'll step quite a bit back. I'm going to show you, it's probably going to look the best. I'm going to show you how efficient it is at throwing these. Right through. I missed a little, but if you look, I did go through. I'm not the most accurate. I won't toot my horn out. I'm very inaccurate. But look, just grab it out, perfectly fine. So grab your handle. And another bonus feature of having a handle like this is if you really are not in the position to throw it, and you can get this thing far enough back, it has plenty of force. Stick it in and whack something. I mean, like, let's be honest, dude. If you need to whack something, you can whack it. You can pick your cactus up and just throw it. So yeah, that's how you're gonna make a spear if you need, and that's how you're just gonna get it done, bro. All right, and as you can see, even after all that play, tip is still really nice. All right, and that will be it. Don't forget to leave a comment if you do want to see anything else. figured I'd post this just to show people how to do it. And if I ever get enough time, I'm gonna go camping and to make a video on that one. All right, next time. See you later.